see them charts moving? Yup. You see them pips stacking? Yup. You see them spreads tight? Yup. I ain't blowing no account tonight.
Started off reckless, chasing them trades, no checklist. Over leverage, no protection. Margin call, learn my lesson. Now I move like a shark, real steady. Sniper entries, I'm ready. 750 edge on the screen. 30 pips clean, no sweaty. You see me winning trades. You see me cutting losses. Risk to reward on point. Now I teach them all the sauce. Eggs all running like Usain. NASDAQ jumping like 2 chains. Patience got me in new lanes. Risk low, but the loot change. Used to FOMO, now wait, pause. Ain't no rush, let it marinate. 750 club in the house. We don't chase, let it calculate.
All right, let's go ahead and get it popping off right now. It is the top of the hour. It is 6 o'clock. You guys know how we do it. We're about to rock it off. We're going to start off with gold. We're going to start off with XAUXA and jump right into it. Let's go into that. Bam, boom. And let's go, guys. Excuse me, guys. Yes. I'm at work right now. Sure. Yeah. All right, let me go to the 15-minute chart. Just do a stretchy out. Let's see. Let me go and look at NAS. Let's check something. Look at NAS 100. All right, boom. We are opening the market with a little gap. All right, let's go ahead and let's stay with NAS. We're gonna go at NAS at the 1 hour chart on NAS and see what we are looking at, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as we all know, when we are looking at the market with the naked eye, this is what we're looking at the candle. This is what every trader is looking at when they're in the market. They are looking at what? The candles. And to know, when do I get in? Do I get in here? Do I get in there? Well, let's give this thing a breakdown and see if that's where we really want to look before we get into this thing. All right, so before we do that, we want to get a station identification break.
Listen. Do you hear it? Most traders don't. They're looking at candles while we're listening to the market. The market has always been speaking. Learn to listen.
And that is what we are about to do today. We're about to learn to listen to the market. What do you mean, listen to the market? Break that down for me, please. All right, let's do that. Let's jump into it, guys. All right, so right now we're looking at NAS. The NAS, it is Sunday. It is July 5th. The market opened at 6 o'clock. So we see right here, this is where the market closed Friday. And then it opened up today here. Would you know, just looking at the naked eye, would you know when to get into this market just by looking? The average person is going to tell you, no, I would not know when to get into this market just looking at it. I have to throw something on it. I have to actually look at it. And that is why in our community, we love to look at the market with an edge. We look at it through music. We listen to what the market is telling us. Immediately, when me and my students are looking at this market, we look and say, where is market? And we look and see where market is, and we say, is it in between harmony? Immediately, we look for our wealth line. The wealth line is our dark blue line. We look for our clarity line. Our clarity line is our white line. We want the market, when we say the market, the actual blue or red candle where price action is, we want that to be on top or under the blue and white lines before we even think about looking at any of the other lines. So, this is looking at the hour chart, and we're looking at NAS. Our chart, I kind of say that's a starting position for a swing trader because that candle takes an hour to form. Wow, that's a long time in the world of the market space, in my opinion, anyway. And as a trader, you are entitled to your own factual opinion. That makes sense. You know, it's your opinion, it's your belief, and it's your fact to you. Everyone has their own. So, as we're looking at the market live, you say, well, when do I get in? Do I take? Look at the market. It's dropping, it's taking. What do you do? When you have harmony, you are able to look at the market and say, well, because I see it is in between both my wealth and my clarity line, it's in between, and we do not try to eat when the market is in between a sandwich. We are not giving our meat to this sandwich. So no, when we are looking at harmony, we can pinpoint and know in an exact drop of a line, we know if it's okay or not to enter into a trade just by looking at the harmony. Now, let's continue to break this down because people ask me, how can I so calmly trade on a 1 minute chart and not be nervous? All charts tell a story, and I want the rhythm from each chart before I want to decide if the market is worthy of my capital, because I want to multiply my capital, not donate it to the cause. So we're going to stay here. We're going to stay on the NAS, and we're looking at the hour chart. We see currently the market is in between our wealth and our clarity. We know safe and sound. We are not executing a trade. We don't execute on Sunday anyway. If something was clearly to show and clearly to form, then yes, I would get in. When I am doing educational purposes and sharing my screen, if I do execute anything, it is executed on a paper trading account, not a live account. It is paper trading for educational purposes only. I keep everything transparent. I show all profits. I show all losses. All of those numbers and figures are there for everyone to see. It is for educational purposes only. So, looking at the 1 hour chart, as we notice, we are not entering to this trade because it's sandwiched in between our wealth and our clarity. So as we break it down, we want to go to the 15-minute chart. So as we go to our 15-minute chart, we look and say, where is our wealth? Where is our clarity? When we look for our wealth and our clarity, we actually see the wealth line is on top. Wealth line on top, meaning it's pushing momentum down. Pushing momentum down, we're looking for shorts. We're looking for sales. Now, this is a perfect story case when you say the blue is on top, but the clarity line has to be the next line. Immediately, I see momentum. So I know this is something that, again, is in a sandwich. We do not execute anything in a sandwich. Ladies and gentlemen, is that okay? Can you hear? Can you hear now the market talking to you? Before, when you said you went from the hour to the 15-minute chart, this is what you see. You can't hear anything. You can just see candles. But when you actually have a harmony that you are able to put over the candles, you can hear the music. You can see the symphony. And it tells you at this point, like, that's a strong candle to what direction. It doesn't give you any pinpoint to buy or to sell. So you sit on your hands and you watch the harmony play out. Okay, so now let's take it to the 5-minute candle. I'm going to stretch this a little bit bigger because as it gets smaller time frame, the candles get smaller. So let's go to the 5-minute time frame. Now, if we go to the top, the 5-minute time frame, all of when did the market open? We were going to go to when the market opened. It is Sunday. This one candle is how the market opened for us. It is now on the second candle. But as you can see, when the market opened, it did shoot up and then it shot back down. And now it shot back down. It touched, what did it touch, ladies and gentlemen? It touched our clarity line. It came to get clear. And then I cannot make this thing up. I promise you, I did not call TradingView and say I'm going to go into Nas and I'm going to, go through a couple of charts. Can you make sure when we get to a specific, make sure it touches the line and bounces back up? You can't make that up. This is the way the lines are telling you the story is singing the song. Now, look at this chart with the naked eye, with no music, with no harmony, with no symphony. Look at this chart. You see all of this consolidation. Nothing's happening here. And then when the market opened, it said, I'm going to go way up, I'm going to go way down. What are we doing here? We need to do what, ladies and gentlemen? Listen. As you can see, when I turn the harmony on, you clearly can see. Would you risk any of your capital right now by listening to what the market is showing you? Isn't that amazing? Listening to what the market is showing you. You have that ability now that you have the edge. Once you see that you had the edge, no, I would not tell any of my students, though I know some of them did. They put a buy limit down here on the clarity line and they said, when the market come touch the clarity, I'm going to get in for the buy. I know my students. I know what they did because they listened to the music that's being played by the orchestra. So with that being said, in an educational purpose, no, do not execute any trades. Do not. You want to learn how to listen to the market before you execute. So yes, kudos to you guys that put the buy limit on the clarity line. Y'all are funny. But we're talking to those that are here for the first time, that have never seen this in life. This is the first time that they're putting their eyes on music, on the actual trading charts. Now, does this work on any market anywhere? Because, like you say, hey, this is futures, that's forex. Does it work on, like, just say Apple? If we go to Apple, let's go to Apple Corporation. And let us turn off of the scanner, of course, first. And let's look at the market and see what it's telling us. And what are we looking at? We're looking at the 5-minute chart. This is beautiful had you known, because this is a lot of consolidation. Had you known that this was the candle to take off, then of course you would have gotten stock and gotten into the Apple stock. Had you known. If you did not have an edge, then how could you, even take an opportunity to do that? You don't have these lines here. So let me break this down. All right. What are we looking at once we have the lines? Now, coming back, I'm going to bring it back here and just do a little story and a little harmony singing for you. We see the blue is on top of the white here. Is that a perfect buying condition? No. Why is it? Because the blue has to be on the bottom. The wealth has to be on the bottom. Then you have clarity. Once you have the bottom blue, then you have clarity. Then you go up and you look for the flow, which is our blue aqua. It's our flow of the momentum. If that flow is the third line up, then hey, ding, ding, ding. That's our third confirmation. We're looking for longs. So what happened, ladies and gentlemen? You see, if you were a student and you were trading Apple, and this happened Wednesday. Wednesday, you watched this happen and you said, hey, the wealth just crossed the clarity line. At the same time, flow just channeled and red crossed over everything. Once you saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you may not have gotten into this candle that took off. This one was your confirmation candle. took off, bam, closed here. Once it closed here and you had blue on top of white, aqua, yellow, and then red, you had 5 confirmations to continue yourself to stay in this trade. You got into this Apple trade and you used this to pay your Apple bill, buy you a new MacBook, buy you an iPad, still in it today. And right now, where are we? It's not showing open yet. Maybe because the holiday, could that possibly be it? So let's go back to, oh, wait a minute. Before we do that, I love Wendy's. I love Wendy's. How many of you guys love fast food, right? You go to Wendy's, you get the food for yourself and your kids. Me, yes, I'm a big component of the $6. Because, I mean, look, for $6, you're getting a double cheeseburger, you getting nuggets, you getting fries, you getting a drink, you getting sauce. Quit playing. So, because I'm going to Wendy's and I'm spending money at Wendy's, then it's best for me to probably come here and use the scanner on Wendy's as well. Now, when you're looking at Wendy's and you say, well, your scanner isn't popping up. It didn't pop up on Apple. It didn't pop up on Wendy's. Why is that? Because there are 2 scanners. There's different algorithms. When you're looking at things like Bitcoin, when you're looking at trades like NAS, when you're looking at US 30, those are volatile. They move, they spike. So you need an algorithm that can compete with that. When you're looking at forex and you're looking at stocks, it's more laid back, it's more conservative. You need an algorithm that can see that. So with the edge, it's not seeing, it's on. Yeah, you do see the EMA lines. I can actually execute without having an alert, but it's just something really, really cool about when it tells you, like, hey, this is maybe a possible confirmed buy, because that line is everything is lining up. When things are lining up for you, you say, I didn't see that blue line. The wealth line is way down here. If the wealth line is this far away from where price is, you can believe and hold and just know with the huge vote of confidence that huge corporations and banks are in control of the buying momentum at this point. What happens when it breaks below clarity? Ooh, it got below clarity. It went below clarity. It's consolidating with clarity. Did it come way down and touch wealth? Not yet. Is it possible that it can? Yes, it does it. I mean, the market does it. You're going to have it where it's going to be at the top at one point, pushing the market down when those sellers are in control. Right now, the buyers are in control. So when we see, and when our students see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, all we are looking for in this particular order are longs, are buys. So we got a confirmed buy confirmation. And then we were waiting and say, man, did we get in? Did we get in? Well, that next candle on that buy, it said pre-sale. We were able to sit on our hand. We didn't have we got the confirmed buy. We waited for the candle to close and it said sell. Oh, okay, we're not risking any of our capital. We're safe. We're not giving anything. Now we're waiting. 20 minutes later, buy. Okay, the buy happened. The next candle confirmed you. Boom, we're blue. We're gone. We're out of here. Where do you get your take profit? That's entirely up to you. Some people took their profit here. Some people took their profit here. Some people took their profit here. Some people probably took some of their profit when this candle was dropping. That's to each particular student. Once you learn how to read. Once you learn how to hear. Now, both scanners are now on, but you can see there is no buy alert on the 750 edge. It was only on the 750 edge razor, even though they both are working. As I always tell you, there are different algorithms, so you want to be able to have both when you are using and trading in the market. That's why it's great to join us and listen, to come to the listening parties. The listening parties are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Coming, it's free to listen to the parties. So now let's go back to, I just said Wendy's because definitely wanted to show you guys that you can use this across any platform, stocks, forex, like let's say USD JPY. All right, so let's look at USD JPY. And this is where the market closed on, it closed here Friday and opened here. Wow, look, you see the huge gap. Now, I want you to see something. This is what the average person with a TradingView account sees when they come to analyze their market. Hey, the market closed right before the holiday. It opened on Sunday. What are we going to do? Whoa, that's a huge gap. That gap, how big is that gap? From here to here, almost a 10 pip gap. Now, what if somebody was in this buying momentum? They were in this what if they were in this sale all weekend and then the market opened here? They closed probably in a stop loss. And that's totally unfair. I mean, the market does do that. But when you are able to trade with the edge, let's look at the razor. Because the razor actually it slows things down. So you're looking at forex with the razor. It's like getting a line. And when you get your hair cut, he's using the big trimmers. But then when he's finished and he pull out that razor, he's taking his time with you on that razor. That's how you want to look at the razor here. The razor is for slower pairs. Take your time to get you those 10 pips. All right. So here it said buy on this particular candle. Did you want to get into the buy? Because the confirmed one, it went red. If somebody was like, oh, it said buy right away. Did you get 10? Let's see. Because it spiked up. I'm just being nosy with you. It took it up 7 pips. And right now you are at a half a pip right now. If you are still in that particular trade, if you took this signal that said buy, if you did. If you are a student and you would say, well, would your student have taken that trade and gotten to that trade? I want you to answer that question for me. Looking at this 5-minute chart, knowing what you just learned about listening to the charts, where the wealth line is and where the clarity line is, and looking at where price is now, would either of you have gotten into this trade, yes or no? Great job. No. And why not? Why would you have not executed in that trade? Sound act, yes, because it's in the middle of a sandwich. Great. Congratulations, guys. And we do not donate any of our capital to the meat of this sandwich. We stay out and we wait. Awesome. Good job, guys. All right, so let's stretch this thing out. We're going to look at USJPY from how we would look at any of the charts before we actually execute and take a trade. Same thing happening here on USDJPY. It's in the middle of a sandwich. So we know we don't trade in the middle of a sandwich. We just go and find a different pair. This works with any pair across the board. So you say, well, man, can we still use it with NAS? I'm kind of scared of NAS. Can we use it with NAS? All right, let's go back and let's look at NAS. And this is kind of what we do at our listening parties. We start off on the hour chart. When we start off, we definitely start off, and this is the razor. So we're going to definitely want to cut the razor off. The razor does not work with NAS. You definitely need the edge. You got to live life on the edge when you're trading with volatile pairs. Remember that. If you're trading with Bitcoin, you're trading with gold, you're trading with NAS, you're trading with Dirty 30. You definitely want to keep your tool on the edge and keep your eye on your chart when you're trading with the edge. Now, looking at the hour chart, as we say, as Oren would say, he see Batman. I see Batman there as well. But we're going to not trip on that. Thanks, Coach. All right, so looking at the hour chart with the 750 edge. Let's cut the music on and let's listen. What is it telling us? What is it singing? Well, the market is still in between a sandwich. Very good. Y'all learning. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Do not trade in a sandwich. Do not give money. You're right. Your lunch money. Your lunch money is not theirs. It's yours. You stay in profit. Okay, great. So we're waiting. Yes, absolutely. And what is it that we're waiting for? Because it's still a buyer's momentum. What we are waiting for is for momentum. We want our red line, our ignition. We want our momentum. We want our flow. We want all three of those lines to go above clarity before we look for our next potential buy position. Got it? Got it. It has to be perfect harmony. All right. So now we're bringing it down. We're going to the 15-minute chart. We see that we are continuously still in the middle of the sandwich. We are not eating. The market broke all the way back down. It came down and touched flow. And then it took off. It touched clarity, touched flow, boom, and it's going. We're not doing anything here because we want all of these lines. We want the red, the yellow, the aqua blue. We want all of these to be on top of our wealth line and start pushing up before we do anything. Like somebody was saying, well, they were all on top here. You had the aqua, you had the yellow, everything was on top. No, hero ain't nothing but a sandwich. Where was price? Right in the middle of a sandwich. We are waiting. The market's not going anywhere, guys. We only sing when we are in harmony. Got it? Got it. All right. So breaking it down even further, we look at the 5-minute chart. And let's see what we're looking at on the 5-minute chart. On the 5-minute chart, we broke out of the sandwich, but what do we have? We still have the wealth. If the wealth is on top, ladies and gentlemen, what is that doing to momentum? It's pushing it what? Up or down? Down. It's pushing momentum down. So because it's pushing momentum down and all the lines are in the middle of the sandwich, between the wealth and the clarity line, what are we doing, guys? What are we doing? You tell me. Nothing. Absolutely. We do nothing. We wait until the market plays out. And we're learning right now. We're listening to beats. We're listening to tracks like Dr. Dre. He has a lot of different samples that he plays before he makes the perfect production. When he got it, when everything lines up, it might take some time, but the man is a what? Billionaire. You know? Hey, listen and wait for the harmony. Now, on the 1 minute chart, you say, when you looked at the 1 hour chart, the momentum said buyer's momentum. It was in a sandwich. We do not trade in sandwiches. On the 15-minute chart, you said we are in a buyer's market. It was in a sandwich. We do not trade in sandwiches. On the 5-minute chart, just to go back, it broke out of the sandwich. It broke out of the sandwich. What does that mean? We are waiting. We would not execute a trade. It broke out of the sandwich. We want everything to push on top of this line. Right now, we see the red ignition broke out of the wealth line. And if we're waiting for everything else to pop outside of this wealth line before we would say, well, can I get into this trade? Can I take this trade? Can I make some money on a Sunday while I know you're teaching us how to listen? If I was to execute a trade, Deonis, because this one is perfect for us, the wealth is at the bottom, the clarity is the next line, the flow is the next line, like you said. Then there is this is the perfect world that you said. So does that mean that we could possibly put a buy limit at the bottom of the yellow line, that it touches this yellow line and takes back off? I'm not telling you to do that. These are educational purposes only. I'm not telling you that. And look at the market taking off. Because I can't make any of these things up. Yes, we are in a buyer's momentum. How do you know we're in a buyer's momentum overall? Well, I look into the charts for the longer period of time. You say, well, can you even look at a 4-hour chart even longer? Well, if we look at the 4-hour chart and go even further, where's the momentum? Where's the blue line? You guys tell me where the blue line is on the 4-hour chart. And I'll keep squeezing. Wow. You see that? It's way, way, way where? Down here. So we are definitely buyer's market. We are buying. We're not looking for shorts. Even though, well, that's a confirmed sale. I could have got in for the sale. You're going against the grain of the big banks, of the huge corporations. They're buying. This is buyer's momentum. On the 4 hour, overall, 4 hours, we're buying. So break it back down to our 1 hour. 1 hour chart, you see that we're buying. We're buying again. Broke down, touched your wealth line, shot down. Where am I going? Where are you going? How far can you go? You have to come back and get this line. You have to come back and get it. Why do you have to come back and no, you don't. You can just keep going forever. If this is what you had, you could probably say, man, that line gonna keep going and just keep going and just keep going. And how far can it go down? It has to respect some sort of structure. Where is that structure? The structure is created by huge banks, huge corporations. And you can fight it and try to go against it. Like you can try to fight it, push down against it, but you gotta come back up to it. And you gotta respect the music. You gotta respect the symphony. Well, I'm gonna break it. The buyers, we violating. And yeah, they do. They violated here. They violated here. They're gonna violate again. Overall, who is in control? Our buyers. So when would you buy again? Not until the buyers are in full control. When are they in full control, Deonis? When all of our lines are clearly over clear. When we're clear, then we can get in for the buy. When we're clear, then we can get in for the buy. So he gave you a pre-buy. Almost everything was that, everything. Ooh, the yellow line, the red line, the blue, everything was over. Oh, we just barely touched over the white line. We was there though. Got exhausted. But without those lines, guys, you can't tell any type of story. You're blind to what you see, not what you can hear. Can you hear it now? Can you hear the charts a lot clearer right now? That's what I want you guys to experience here when you're doing this. All right. So let's break this thing up a little bit more. All right. That is our 15-minute chart. Like, as we said, it's in between the sandwich here. We are sitting on our hands. We go to the 5-minute chart. And bring that there. And where we talk about on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is where we actually execute. Like that thing, it took off up here. It's just gone. It just took off. Can you leave a buy limit here if you were thirsty? You could. Is it going to pop back down here? I don't know. Because if now I'm looking at my momentum, this is my momentum taking off for me. This is what I'm looking at on the 1-minute chart. These candles take 1 minute to form. You can make $300, $400, $500, $600 in a 1-minute candle, just as you could in a 15-minute candle, except it takes 15 minutes. I like to do it in one. That's the secret sauce to the harmony. So looking at all of this consolidation happening on this line. My wealth line is here. Everything is still telling me I'm in a buyer's momentum because my wealth line is clearly at the bottom. But all of this is consolidation. That's consolidation. That's consolidation. Once if I'm looking at this and I saw this happen in real time, to see this happening, because when the market opened at 6 p.m., this is where the market, remember the market opened here with that big candle that shot up and then shot back down. That was our 6 o'clock candle. So you were looking like, ooh, it's going to take off. It's going to take off. And you probably could have felt that. You're like, ooh, because you got your but that was Friday. You really wouldn't have done nothing because this was red and you just watching this and then you saw sale confirmation. So we watching this together. None of our students are doing anything on Sunday. So we watching the market, boom, pop up. got your pre-buy, and then you saw this gap. Once you saw this gap start forming, my students probably got some money. I'm not going to even lie. Some of them are probably in this trade as we speak at this moment, because we don't necessarily wait for a buy and sell an alert. We listen to the song. We watch the music play before us, and we execute to the music in front of us. So yeah, I'm sure you are. I could have figured that you was, Tal, but anyway, let's get back to the class at hand. I hope you guys are really, really picking up something that we're putting down. We do this. We listen to the market, guys. Without this is what you're seeing. If you don't have the edge, you're just watching the market. You're just looking at the market. You're just seeing the market. But when you have the edge, you can actually hear. You can listen to the market. I hope that this is really, really helpful for some of you guys. You're picking up on some things, and that it's really, really insightful for you.
If today's listening party helped you see the market a little differently, imagine what happens when you experience it every morning. Trading with the Edge is completely free to join. Attend the listening parties, explore the classrooms, learn the framework, watch the replays, and when you're ready to start watching market harmony and start seeing it on your own charts, Legacy membership unlocks the Edge and the Edge Razor scalpers. Everything starts with one click. We'll see you inside.
All right. Let's get back to it. So we are where at Nas. Did I got that? No, this is what that is 29679. That's where I had it. You're asking if I wanted to get if you could set a buy limit if it came back down and touched that zone. You could, but that's where it was 29679. 29679.6 is where I had that if you were looking to see if the market was going to drop back down and let you get in and take back off again. Will that happen? I can't promise that. I can't guarantee it. Me myself personally, because I was looking at it touching a yellow line here, the market is moving up, so I'm looking at the yellow line here. I'm always moving it up. If I missed the entry and it's moving on my buy, I'm going to the next one for it to drop down. Like it popped up here, I would have been maybe somewhere around here and let it get in and drop back down. But that's how you get into your trailing when you're looking at the explosion of the space that's happening right between your eyes. So if you go to look what's happening further ahead, now you look at your chart here. You see here's your wealth line. You see your red and your yellow has done what? Has went on top of your wealth line. So now you're just riding momentum here, and you're letting the market breathe, letting it do what it do, because now you see the actual aqua is on its way to go higher than your wealth line. Once that happens, what's next? Next, of course, absolutely, your clarity line. Once your clarity line clears wealth, you are what, ladies and gentlemen? You are on the go. So would I have told somebody, man, you can get into the buy as soon as it crossed the wealth line? No, I wouldn't tell you to do that immediately, but I do tell you to listen to the song. Listening to the song, being your own advisor, being your own producer when you're listening to these tracks can tell you, what to do with your capital and what not to do with your capital when you are actually listening to the songs being played. Now we're looking at the 15-minute chart. Looking at the 15-minute chart, as I bring this down, remember, the wealth line is where? On top. If the wealth line is on top, that means what is it doing to the market? It's pushing it down, correct? What did we just see this market break through? The actual market, where it is currently, did it break through? Well, the candle is not done. There's still 45 seconds left on this candle. Let's see. Let's watch this candle and see what it does in these next 30 seconds. Is it going to stay above the wealth line? Is this going to be the line that's saying the candle that tells you Hey, this long sale happened. This long drop dipped all the way off. Fell. Whew, broke all the way past the wealth line. I mean, hundreds of pips. And now it's on its way back up. We got 10 seconds. Look at it. It's literally sitting there. The market is, it's so serious. This is so serious. Like, that's what you, okay. Let me go to the hour chart, because this is hilarious. This is, you, ladies and gentlemen, when you are able to hear the market, when you are able to, because like right now, you're just looking at this blue candle. You know, you like, what do I do here? Do I do anything? It's just, you know, it got the long wick. You know, what do they say about wicks? Whatever they say about wicks means nothing if you don't have the skill set. But if you got the edge, if you have the edge, you can look and listen. Okay, my wealth line is down here at the bottom. My wealth line is at the bottom. Really, we shouldn't be looking for anything but buys. My clarity line is up here. My market is just penetrating above the clarity line, so it's not clear yet. So since it's not clear yet, I think I need to wait. I see it's a buyer's market, but can I wait until the market pushes up? Can I get the red and the yellow and the aqua blue? Can I push you guys up above wealth? If you guys can push above wealth for me, I don't mind waiting. I know it's $7 trillion a day that moves through this thing. So if I show and exercise a little bit of patience by listening to what you tell me, if I show some patience, I know I can capitalize on this market. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna get up out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to the market and the charts with me. Like I say, we touched Nas, we touched a little bit of gold, we touched a little bit of Apple, we touched Wendy's, we touched USDJPY. Guys, this scanner, you can listen to any pair across TradingView. Listen any of them as long as you come and become a part of our community. Part of the community, guys, is free to be a part of the community. Just coming into the listening parties, listening to what we do. I mean, me personally, I trade Nas because it's moving fast, and you know, people want to get in and get out, and hey, can I make $200 in 1 minute? So I do all of that on Nas. I want to show people how to actually listen to the markets, even in one of the most fearful pairs to trade, and on the 1 minute time frame, and do it with calm, and do it with ease, and do it with harmony. And why are we able to do it with harmony? Because we are doing it with music. Not the actual literal sense of music, but we're using harmony. And when we're listening with harmony, like I said, you put it on that yellow line. Did it come touch the yellow line? It came and touched the yellow line, and it took back off. So that's what I mean, ladies and gentlemen, when you listen to your symphony. You're like, you missed it, you didn't get it down here. Well, put your buy limit on a yellow line. Put your buy limit on a yellow line. Put your buy limit on a yellow line. Let it come touch your yellow line, and then it continues to take off. You listen to your orchestra. Is there somebody that is listening to the orchestra live with us now that got into the Nas trade and that's still in it? I couldn't even finish the statement. Yes, there are. There are students that are already in it, and they'll probably be riding this thing for a few hours. You know, we don't get into trades and swing trade for hours and hours. We get into trade, make the daily goal, you know, our daily bread. That's what our goal is. We get into the market to be disciplined, to make our daily bread, come back and listen again. So I invite you guys to come and listen to the next listening party, which will be Monday, tomorrow, 9:25 Eastern Standard Time, where we get to actually listen to Nas. And we want to analyze. And if it lines up and everything lines up, then we are going to actually execute and execution is really fun, guys. It's truly fun. So we're gonna get ready to wrap up. I appreciate you guys giving me your time.
Listen. Do you hear it? Most traders don't. They're looking at candles while we're listening to the market. The market has always been speaking. Learn to listen.
One shit changes everything. New money, new mind, new model. Faceless, fearless. One shift, now I see it clear. Money moves, I ain't waiting on the year. Mind right now, the back appear. Faceless wins, we ain't showing fear. Click link, that's the VIP tier. Legacy talk, now we shifting gears. No fluff, just plans and peers. One shift, now I'm out of here. One shift, now I see it clear. Money moves, I ain't waiting on the year.
Can't make it up.